Again!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Well, there's lots lined up on the show today. There's a lot of football. I can assure you it's going to be controversial. Two very, very interesting stories coming. One, of course, is Argentina football. What's going wrong there? There's another controversy that's added to the list, and the person whom it's revolving around is their star goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez, who's been accused of slapping a camera person. And Argentina remains tight-lipped about this. Crossing over to another football story, and the man at the center of this is one who's creating a lot of news even without playing on the field. Cristiano Ronaldo is now engaged in a war of words with Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag. And of course, there's a bit of Formula One action to wrap things up. What is going wrong in McLaren? Now they have come out with a statement redressing and taking a U-turn from what they said earlier at the Italian Grand Prix. Lando Norris has also made a response to that, showing that there could possibly be differences in that camp. We'll get you all of this in a bit, of course, but first let's take a look at the headlines. Starting with cricket, the one-off test between Afghanistan and New Zealand in India's Greater Noida has been called off. For the first time in over 90 years, a test in India was abandoned without a single ball being bowled. The relentless rains and the poor facilities resulted in the game being called off. Over in tennis, 22-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal has pulled out of the Laver Cup. The former world number one took to social media to announce his disheartening news. He also pulled out of the US Open earlier due to fitness concerns. Nadal last played international tennis at Paris at the Olympics in the doubles event. On to football. French captain Kylian Mbappe is taking his former club Paris Saint-Germain to court. This after PSG refused to pay over $60 million as ordered by the French Legal Commission. Ever since Mbappe left PSG to join Real Madrid, tension has been rife between these two parties. An independent prosecutor appointed by World Anti-Doping Agency, or the WADA, cleared WADA of any wrongdoing in its handling of the case involving the Chinese swimmers. The controversy dates back to the Tokyo Olympics, where at least 23 Chinese swimmers tested positive for a banned drug before the Games, but were still allowed to compete. The agency was later accused of wrongdoing by the US Anti-Doping Agency. And a trial related to the death of Diego Maradona has been deferred to March next year. The case pertains to 8 medical professionals who are accused of negligence in his death. The Argentine legend died of heart failure in 2020. The medics have been charged with homicide by negligence and could face up to 25 years in prison if found guilty. Argentina football finds itself in another controversy even before the previous one could die down. The Enzo Fernandez racist video against French national team and of course the players has continuously put the football nation under scanner. And with tensions around Argentina still high, their star goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez has now come under the scanner. The footballer has been accused of slapping a camera person. More trouble for the football nation that continues to be criticized in the eye of the storm. The incident occurred after Argentina lost to Colombia 1-2 in their World Cup qualifier match in Colombia's Barranquilla. After the final whistle, videographer Jhonny Jackson, who works for a TV station, approached Martinez to get his reaction, but was slapped by the footballer. So claims Jackson.
Out of the blue, he slapped me. I felt angry, very angry. I was working just like he was. He was playing and I was shooting with my camera.
Now in the video provided by Jackson, all you can see is Martinez pushing the camera and the camera falling to the ground. Martinez's reaction is a tad surprising though, because for all of his idiosyncrasies, one thing is that no one has seen him lose his cool. What's he like as a person? From what we've seen and read and heard, he's known for his jubilant personality, someone who celebrates every moment. Sure, the opponents on the day, Colombia, are no fans of his, but Martinez is a team player, the locker room favourite and quite a character. Like the time after he won the Golden Glove Award at the FIFA World Cup, he followed that up with the infamous celebration with the Golden Glove. Martinez is exuberant and fun-loving, so this aggressive outburst, of course, doesn't sit too well with everyone who knows him. Yes, his country had lost a World Cup qualifier, but maybe it was more than the game that brought out this irritation. Clearly, it was more than the loss. The goalkeeper was frustrated because right through the game, the home fans were booing Argentina and Martinez. Now, South America football fans are known for their very hostile behavior. They tried to intimidate the opponents, and this Argentine side is already facing the brunt of boos from the world all over, thanks to their racist chants post the Copa America win. The Colombians merely capitalized on this. It's been a rather tough few weeks for this bunch, and the frustration of all of that spilled over. But it still doesn't justify assaulting a camera person who was just doing his job, isn't it? Especially when the football team is already facing the flak for their behavior. And this matter seems grave because Colombia's Association of Sports Journalists have now called on FIFA to take action against Martinez. If the accusations do stand true, it's not going to be easy for Martinez to brush this one aside, because in the past, we've seen many players being suspended for such acts. Earlier this year, in February, in fact, AC Milan player Luka Jovic was banned for 2 matches. This for slapping Monza's Armando Izzo in a Serie A game. And even big stars like Messi and Ronaldo haven't been able to escape the law. In 2022, Cristiano Ronaldo was suspended for 2 matches and fined about $60,000 for taking a mobile phone out of a boy's hand during United's game against Everton. The game saw Ronaldo being subbed off, and the frustrated Ronaldo took it out on an Everton fan. A year earlier, 2021, Lionel Messi was suspended for 2 matches after he hit Athletic Bilbao player Asier Villalibre. This was during the Spanish Super Cup final. During that game, Messi was shown a red card for swinging his hand over the Bilbao player, and the Spanish FA further imposed a 2-match suspension on the star. Even beyond football, players have faced consequences for their actions across other sports. If you look at cricket, when Indian cricketer Harbhajan Singh slapped another Indian cricketer, Srishant, after a game in the 2008 IPL edition, the spinner was suspended for the rest of the season. So clearly, the Colombia Sports Journalists Association is demanding that Martinez too pays for his action. In fact, the journalist himself sent Martinez this message after the incident. Now, what's a little surprising is that neither Martinez nor Argentina have issued a statement or given an apology till the time, of course, that this show is airing. The second time they've now responded in cold silence. Even after the world erupted post those racist chants by Enzo Fernandez and, of course, a few others, FIFA issued a warning. Fans in France booed the Argentine team. Even after all of that, Argentina continued to remain silent, didn't issue a statement. Enzo was forced, of course, to clarify and take down that video, but that was all. They remain tight-lipped about it all, and I'm not sure if that's the right path to take once more in this scenario as well. Because an apology on the matter or even a statement from Martinez can ease all this. But with Argentina and Martinez continuing to be quiet only means the footballer isn't getting out of this one that easily. Ronaldo and historic achievements are synonymous with each other. Last week, he scored the 900th goal in his career, marking his claim as one of the greatest. And this week, he set the digital world ablaze. The Portuguese became the first individual to cross 1 billion followers across social media platforms, which includes his followers on Twitter, it's now X, Facebook, Instagram, and his latest venture on YouTube. So given his following and the stature he has, anything he says holds resonance, value, and creates a bit of an impact. And recently, of course, one statement Ronaldo made has kicked off a a war of words between him and Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag. It feels like war, most like what it was like before Ronaldo left Man United. Looks like that's not changed. But yes, rounds have been fired from Riyadh to Manchester and back. Enough to show that things are just as bitter between these two as they were when they worked together briefly. Ronaldo and Ten Hag had a bitter fallout during Ronaldo's stint at Manchester in 2022, so much so that Ronaldo left United and went so far away, left Europe in fact, to cross over to Saudi and join their league and club Al Nassr. And given he always considered Manchester his second home, it was no surprise that he was quick to hate out at Ten Hag on the back of the slump that Manchester United find themselves in.
As Manchester United coach, you cannot say that you're not going to fight to win the league or Champions League. They need to rebuild everything, in my opinion. What I wish for Manchester, it's what I wish for me, to be the best team they can.
Now, Ronaldo has an emotional connection with United. We all know that. It's the club that saw Ronaldo grow into the player he is today. He won his first Champions League with them. The first Ballon d'Or was earned while he was at the club. And then, of course, the relationship he shares with United coach Alex Ferguson, even till today, who's always been a father figure to him. So we know how much Ronaldo cares about United. But it seems the kind of fondness he has for United is only rivaled by the level of acrimony he shares with Ten Hag, the man at the helm. Just a month earlier, in a TV interview with a presenter, Ronaldo revealed that he had been forced out of the club. Even so, this statement he makes just now about the club and what it needs to be done there comes from a place of reflection, watching what's going down. The failure to win Premier League, Champions League, something United haven't done for more than a decade, which has put every manager who's been at United since 2013 under scrutiny. So Ronaldo means well, but that clearly didn't amuse the manager at present, Erik Ten Hag.
He said that Manchester United can't win the Premier League.
He said that you.
No, he said this. If you read the article very well, so he's far away from Saudi, or far away from Manchester. So everyone can have, and is entitled to have an opinion. It's okay. Doesn't impact me. I know in the process where we are, and what we have to do, where we are going.
Ten Hag basically asking Ronaldo to mind his own business and that he really doesn't care what the Portuguese superstar thinks. Erik Ten Hag well responding in Erik Ten Hag style. He's developed quite the thick skin by now, even if he didn't have it earlier, earning the wrath of, well, not Ronaldo really, but his 1 billion fans for sure. And given the history between these two strong personalities, Ten Hag continues to stay defiant like he has always been. He says he's focused on his work, but really for how long can Ten Hag continue to dodge the bullets? Just recently, United suffered an embarrassing 3-0 loss to Liverpool in the Premier League. After that defeat too, Ten Hag stayed obstinate, saying he was no Harry Potter. Now I understand Ten Hag has a process, and every process deserves time, but as a manager, he's the one who needs to take ownership. Because the truth is, Manchester United is not winning. And Ten Hag is not accepting the errors too. Talking of process instead, it's good if that eventually pays off, but what's the timeline one can really set for all of this to truly come good? Because the clock is ticking for Erik Ten Hag. He's already been at United for 2 years now, and if the process doesn't reflect anytime soon in the results column, it won't just be Ronaldo that he'll have to retort to strongly. The Italian Grand Prix put McLaren in a hot, bubbling mess. Despite having a 2-3 finish, Oscar Piastri coming in second, Lando Norris third, they successfully managed to keep the championship leader, Max Verstappen, out of the podium. So why the hot mess? Fans, experts and everyone watching the race were shocked and angry at the way Piastri was allowed to overtake Norris when the biggest challenger to Verstappen and Red Bull is Lando Norris. So McLaren have now come out with a statement saying they will back Norris for the title, but is all really well in the McLaren camp. Take a look.
McLaren seem to have woken up from their slumber, a slumber that caused them rage on social media. Here's a glimpse of some of the hate and heat they received right after the Italian GP. Oscar Piastri was seen overtaking Norris for a final 2-3 finish. Great for the team, but silly when you know the biggest chance to overthrow Max Verstappen from the championship rests with Lando Norris. Norris didn't say much right after the race, except that it was a team decision. So McLaren have now come up with a statement that seems like they want to make amends, saying they want to favour the one with the most chance to win in the 50-50 calls.
The overall concept is we are incredibly determined to win, but we want to win in the right way. We bias our support to Lando, but we want to do it without too much compromise on our principles.
That's quite a climb down from what their earlier approach was, throwing aspersions to a growing bias that's really not helping the team. Even here in this statement, they're trying to justify their strategy in the previous race, saying they want to win the right way and don't want to compromise their principles.
Our principles are that the team interest always comes first. Sportsmanship for us is important in the overall way we go racing. And then we want to be fair to both drivers.
The very same principles that prompted them to ask Norris to give the lead back to Piastri in the Hungarian GP. The very same principles that even resulted in a fallout between their two key drivers in the past, Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. The best part about this development in the McLaren team is what Lando Norris came out and said.
Yes, it would be great to have a championship. And short term, you feel amazing. But I don't think you'd be proud of that in the long run. It's not how I want to win a championship.
That's crazy, huh?
Now, there are two ways to see this. One, Norris doesn't want leftovers. He wants to win fair and square, no matter what that entails.
It actually drives pretty good.
The other way to look at this is that he probably doesn't want any favours here, not from Piastri, hinting all is not too well and there's some friction between the two drivers that seems to have taken a sharp turn. Whatever it is, McLaren have much on their plate to sort out before the next GP at Azerbaijan before it gets too late. Because there's no more time for trials and rehearsals.
Time for last serve. Now, the funeral procession of murdered Olympian Rebecca Cheptegei took place in Eldoret, Kenya. Cheptegei was set on fire by her former boyfriend earlier this month. Her family members and friends paid their condolences. That wraps up Firstpost here for us. I'll see you again, of course, after this weekend. Do take care. Bye-bye.